he just kept battling. He kept making good decisions. Obviously, he made some great plays out of the pocket. He made some big-time throws. But as much as anything else, he's got an amazing spirit. And it's contagious, and our players follow him. Not only our offensive players, but our entire team.
All right, so the question becomes, were the Cowboys able to rebound after last week? That's what we talked about this entire week. So the question, CC, do the Cowboys make Dak Prescott great, or does Dak make the Cowboys great?
That's a tough question, because when you have a good offensive team, it's comprised of several different units. Number one, the offensive line. And it's well documented as far as Dallas, the draft picks, the money that they've spent. They've done a great job on their offensive line trying to rebuild this team, because people forget where Dallas was 5 years ago. Like, they're just a marginal 500 team. Tony Romo is their quarterback. That's where they were. But they really, Jerry and the front office has done a tremendous job rebuilding that offensive line. The next unit they have, you would have to say, they're skilled wide receivers. All right? And I would say they're not a dominant group. They're not a really special group. They're not in the top 15 as far as skilled groups in the league. And the third component to that would be the quarterback and the running back. Because football is like baseball in a sense. Defensively, if you're good up the middle, you're going to be good. So Dallas has a great center. They got a good quarterback, and they got a great running back. Now, why didn't I say Dak is great? Because I believe that we're going to see this over time. But we do this to players all the time. The better players they play with, the more things that we try to limit the player from what he does, or the credit we want to give him. So if Dak was on a poor team, we wouldn't be asking this question. We'd be talking about, man, Dak Prescott is a really special player. But because Dallas happened to get several assets before Dak got there, that being the offensive line and Dez, and him and Zeke coming in at the same time. So to me, they can't function without each other. Dak is going to be a great quarterback. The only reason why I'm not saying it now is because just over time. But he has moments of brilliance. He has moments where he's great. As a leader, I think he's tremendous, and he doesn't get enough credit, especially being the face of the Dallas Cowboys, which is not like a bunch of franchises around the world. Like, Dallas is a special place. So I think Dak would be a great quarterback no matter where he played. But you're marginalized in the NFL. If you allow him to get hit early, he could have a career like other quarterbacks that we've seen. So I think that the marriage is a perfect marriage, and they need each other.
I agree they need each other, but the most important part of what the Cowboys have done over the last year and a quarter of a season almost, the most important reason the Cowboys went from, like you were saying, a 500 team with Romo, right, a team that was one of the 5 worst teams in the league the year Romo was injured before Dak got there. The most important component is not the offensive line, it's not Ezekiel Elliott, it's not Jason Garrett, it is Dak Prescott. And last night was the perfect example of it. The offensive line was not great last night.
No.
Pass blocking or run blocking. Ezekiel Elliott had 80 yards last night, 82 of which were after contact. So he had more yards after contact than actual rushing yards. What does that mean? He was getting hit in the backfield. Zeke was fine last night. He had one really good run, the 30-yard run. Aside from that, 21 carries for 50 yards. What was the difference last night? Dak Prescott, in limited opportunities, only 18 attempts, was nearly flawless. Made no big mistakes, made 3 spectacular throws, on the run, moving, under duress, and made a great throw or made a great play with his feet. This is, every quarterback evaluator I hear, they talk about the measurables: height, weight, speed, arm strength, timing of the release, the way you throw the football, all of those things. Then they also talk about, for that position, the importance of intangibles, leadership, composure under duress. Dak checks every intangible box. And the measurables, while maybe the height, weight, speed isn't elite, what he produces, which are measurable, the numbers, the results, be it touchdowns, interceptions, be it quarterback rating, be it team wins, are all elite. So I understand he's in a good situation, but that Cowboys team without him is not a good situation.
The other thing I think Dak did, and if you get back to last night's specific game, is, and you say this a lot, he was able to use his whole offense. He spread around seven different receivers, caught passes. That was refreshing to see. He didn't do that much, and what he did do was near perfect. My question to you would be, what happened between the first half and the second half? How does a guy like that go into the locker room, something happens, and then they come out and have a very special second half where he uses it even more?
Well, I think people watch football and they don't watch it the right way. Like, because football is a chess match. And it's supposed to go 4 quarters. But sometimes the chess matches we saw Sunday, 2 games, went into overtime. But it's a chess match. And you're trying to position yourself in the first and the second quarter. Arizona is a great example. They almost had Dallas in checkmate early in the game. If they go up 14-0, they get a touchdown call back, they miss a field goal, then Dallas begins to press. So I think people, when you watch the game, they're also professionals on the other side. Arizona's defense played phenomenal. They had home field advantage. Crowd was into the game. They were getting after the quarterback, penetrating the line of scrimmage. At halftime, Scott Lanahan, the offensive coordinator of Dallas, they made some adjustments. They started giving them some different looks, and they realized they need to make a couple big plays, either being the running game or being the passing game. And that's what they were able to do, make just enough plays, making the adjustments. Scott Lanahan, he did a good job of trying to move Dez Bryant around in different spots. Even though he didn't have a big day, you could see them experimenting with other looks that they hadn't previously shown to other teams. So when you're looking at Dallas, you're like, wow, what was a big change? Well, they made adjustments, and that's what good teams do. And good quarterbacks, they find a way to win.
Listen, the Cowboys' defense was the unit that, to me, looked like it underwent mid-game a total transformation. The first 2 drives of the game, Carson Palmer looked like Carson Palmer from 2015. He was 12 of 13. He had 135 yards, looked like he had 2 touchdown passes. As you mentioned, one gets called back due to a holding call. Yes. All of a sudden, instead of being 14-0, okay, it's going to be 10-0. And then, oh, my gosh, when you miss the field goal, it's 7-0. But from that moment forward, Carson Palmer was bad. He completed less than 50% of his passes. He had a quarterback rating less than 75. So I give the Cowboys defense credit for making adjustments. I give the Cowboys defensive coordinator credit for making adjustments. Dak, I don't think, changed. Dak in the beginning of the game was not taking many chances. Dak was just being conservative. Listen, let's wait and see how this game starts to go. Let's make sure we're coming off the worst game we've played as a team maybe since I came into the league. First time we've been really blown out since I came into the league. Let's just make sure that all of a sudden this game is not 17-0. Early in the game, it was weird to me. The first drive for the Cowboys, run once, run twice, 3rd and 8, Dak instantly checks down to Jason Witten. Like it was, we're fine. We're going to punt. We are not going, what we're not going to do is see Honey Badger run to the end zone on a pick 6. What we're not going to do is let Kimdichie come around and have a strip sack that puts him in a good position. And then, as they started to get a better idea of what Arizona was trying to do defensively, what did Dak Prescott do? He made them pay for every blitz. He made them pay for every time they thought, okay, we can send a blitz from here. You're going to have to really find the guy crossing the field. Dak made plays with his feet. Waited, and made a couple throws, CC. Those are elite level throws now. Running one way, throwing off your back foot, a strike downfield, throws that very often end in turnovers. Dak made them. Every checkpoint for this player, he keeps passing with flying colors. Last night, bad game. Bad game the previous week. Bad start this week. How do you respond? Responds by completing 70% of his passes, 10 yards an attempt, no mistakes, and a great rushing touchdown. I thought he was fantastic last night.
And the wide receivers aren't getting a lot of separation to help him out.
The wide receivers aren't that good. The wide receivers of the Dallas Cowboys just aren't that good right now.
For Dak Prescott, it's all part of this maturation process. Bad game, come back, keep the game in check. Don't do too much. Make sure you come out with a win. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.